This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video on my own personal YouTube channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. As always, it is very much appreciated. Alright, Wednesday afternoon here, we're moving towards the French Oaks this coming Sunday before Royal Ascot starts next week. So what this week mainly involves is taking a look at all the possibles we've had since they were 2-year-old, seeing what's turned up in the French Oaks or what might turn up in the French Oaks at this stage, and then getting some videos out this week with a view to sticking them all up on the channel ahead of the French Oaks. So what we've got coming up today is another French Oaks horse that's entered that is based in Ireland. Before we take a look at the horse, where can people find these horses? ClassicWatch25.great/site.net is where the horses can be found. People will see that there's Australian trained, Japanese, USA, UK, Ireland and France at the moment. Hopefully maybe there might be room for the odd German horse on there if I can find a horse good enough at the moment to get on the site. The German horses are a bit in disarray at the moment. There's 2 possible videos already done, so it's arguable that they've probably got the best chance. But yeah, we can soon spring into action and do another one if a horse takes my fancy. But as it stands at the minute, it's not really happening yet. I think end of June and end of July, I think the races are. So I think there's a month or so left until then. But yeah, they're leaving it late, the German-based horses this year. We might have horses based elsewhere that run in the German Derby and Oaks. That's an entire possibility, you know. But yeah, ClassicWatch25.great/site.net is where people can find the Classic Watch 25 site. Right, the horse we're going to take a look at today is arguably one of the most disappointing horses I've followed this year and last. Arguably, Ecstatic. Trained, a 3-year-old filly, trained by Aidan O'Brien and owned by Coolmore. Sired by Japanese stallion Lord Kanaloa, out of a dam called Magic Wand, who herself was sired by Galileo. This horse owned and bred by Coolmore. People will see that if they look at the back of the form, I actually followed this horse. It was beaten by Swelter first time out. Swelter deemed good enough, of course, to run in the Irish 1,000 guineas. The horse won by 3 1/4 lengths, second time of asking at Tipperary, over 7.5 furlongs. And since then, the horse, it's fair to say, has been highly tried without much success. The best it has managed is placed in a Group 3 race, second of 9, beaten 1 3/4 lengths by One Look on her first one this year. That's a Classic Watch 24 possible One Look to you. So yeah, she couldn't quite beat her elders that day, but that I thought was a very encouraging performance. But since then, in 2 races, it's not really happened. 7th out of 8 in the Salsaville Stakes at Navan, and then 5th out of 10 in the Newbury Fillies Trial, where she ran to a mark of 89. This horse has only ran to a mark above 90 on 2 occasions. The best Racing Post rating she has gained so far is 97, when she was second behind One Look. She was also 5th in a Group 2 last year behind Desert Flower, and 5th behind Merrily in a Group 3 at Newmarket as well, the oh-so-sharp stakes. So this horse has raced 7 times and only finished in the first 3 times, and has currently earned £28,394 UK pounds in her career. Safe to say that I had good high hopes for this one, and I was hoping that if she went to a classic, it would be on form, and not because her connections just decided to give her a run, maybe as a spoiler to spoil other horses' chances. You know, the form of this horse is what it is. But the horse Ecstatic, she is entered in the Prix de Diane this coming Sunday. She's also entered in the Juddmonte Irish Oaks on the 19th of July, which I think might suit her a bit more. You know, 1.5 miles, but it's only the 1 mile 2.5 furlongs in the French Oaks, if she takes her chance. But we've got two bullets to fire at this stage: the French Oaks and the Irish Oaks. Another one that isn't in any St Ledgers at this stage, Ecstatic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, I think, at one dam today with the relatives of her, because again, there is a card done on a previous horse on this dam line, so I don't really need to echo myself. So what we will be doing is we'll be taking a look at the horse Ecstatic, one dam. I'll show you where it is on the historic dam line. I'll show you how it ties into the card that we're going to add, and then we will watch Ecstatic win at Tipperary back on the 9th of August 2024 in a maiden. And that's all she's managed to win, unfortunately. People take a look at the thoroughbred online database. They're already behind. The horse has run 7 times and there's already run 5. So really, this site is not really even reliable for current horses, really. It's just a very rough guide. I would not, very rough guide. You'll see the dam line is a 21A. Ecstatic. Yeah, so that's all we need, really, off this site. As long as they keep getting that right, then we're all right. The site is still of use to us. So Magic Wand, you will see the dam. We're going to take a look at her now. Magic Wand, a mare born in 2015, sired by Galileo, out of Prudenzia. People see that Magic Wand raced 28 times in her career. Not the most prolific of winner, but she was placed in the first 3 in 15 of her 28 starts. She only managed to win 4 starts in her career, but she was always very highly tried, earning €4,348,171 in her career. People see that Magic Wand was a Group 2 winner at 3. She won the 2018 Ribblesdale Stakes, and she also won the listed Cheshire Oaks that year, as being placed in 2 Group 1s, the Prix Vermeil and the Prix de l'Opera. At 4, the horse managed to win a Group 1 in Australia. She was the winner of the McKinnon Stakes, but she's placed in a lot of Group races that year as well. She was placed in the Pegasus World Cup Turf in the US. She's placed in the Pretty Polly Stakes in Ireland, the Arlington Million, again in the US, the Irish Champion Stakes, the Hong Kong Cup, and the listed Wolferton Stakes at Royal Ascot. She was also 3rd in the Group 1 Manor War Stakes at Belmont at 4. At 5, the horse won another Group 2. She won the Landwade Stud Stakes and was placed again in the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational of 2020. Raced in a lot of continents, sent to Japan to cover Philly by Lord Kanaloa, which is this horse that we're talking about, the 2022 version, which was Ecstatic. Quite a well-bred horse, Magic Wand. If people look at the relatives, Enemy is an interesting one, a gelding. Born in 2017, sired by Muhara, out of Prudenzia. All these are half or full sisters to our horse by Galileo. Enemy has raced 22 times in his career, 4 wins, 6 seconds and a third. In the first 3 in 11 of 22 starts, for earnings of £594,321 UK pounds. Horses raced in Great Britain, France, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Again, Enemy's won some decent pattern races. The horse was 3rd in the Sagaro Stakes of 2022 Group 3, and the horse at 6 was 2nd in the 2024 Red Sea Turf Handicap. I think that race is in Saudi Arabia when trained by Ian Williams. But yeah, useful enough horse on his day, placed in 2 Group 3 races. Chiquita, a mare born in 2010, sired by Monsieur, out of Prudenzia. Chiquita raced 8 times in her career, 1 win, 2 seconds and 2 thirds in the first 3 in 5 of 8 starts, earnings of £530,770 UK pounds in her career. Decent horse, Chiquita. That 1 win was a classic. She's a classic winner. She won the Irish Oaks of 2013. She was also placed in the French Oaks the same year when she was 2nd. And at 4, she was 2nd in the Group 2 Blandford Stakes, 3rd in the British Champion Fillies and Mare Stakes as well, and also 5th in the Group 1 Breeders' Cup Turf that year. Raced in France, Ireland, the UK and the USA, Chiquita. Irish Oaks winner. Very impressive credentials, really, it's fair to say. And she herself has bred 3 pattern horses. Fair play to Chiquita. Emily Dickinson, who in fact was a Classic Watch 22 possible back in the day when no videos were made, just text. Emily Dickinson, a filly, born in 2019, sired by Jubawi, out of Chiquita. Emily Dickinson raced 16 times in her career, 4 wins, 2 seconds and a third. 7 out of 16 times in the first 3, earnings of €214,606 and £179,860 UK pounds. Decent horse, Emily Dickinson was, although she did frustrate me a little bit. She won the Group 3 Loftbourne Stakes of 2022, and she also won the Group 2 Curragh Cup of 2023 at 4 as the listed vintage crop stakes at the Navan. Group 3 and Group 2 winner. She did place, she was fourth. She was placed in one Group 1 race, the Goodwood Cup of 2023. She was fourth in 3 others, the Irish Oaks, the Prix de Royaume, and the Gold Cup. But yeah, she ran fourth in the Irish Oaks. That was what she did for Classic Watch 22. But she did win a Group 2. She won Comeback Wales, a decent stayer at 4, winning the Cover Cup and being placed in the Goodwood Cup. Be interesting to see what she folds when she gets the opportunity. Nicest, a filly born in 2018, sired by American Pharaoh out of Chiquita. Nicest again was third 4 times in her 10-race career, but she only managed to win 1 and be second 1. 6 out of 10, but 4 thirds, earnings of $194,883 US dollars. Nicest was second in the Group 2 she was second in the Group 2 American Oaks of 2021. She was also classic placed in the Irish Oaks the same year, 2021, placed in the Ribblesdale as well, and the US Grade 3 Red Carpet Handicap and the Cheshire Oaks. She was also fourth in the Group 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup at Keeneland in the same year. 2023 colts on the ground by Justify that could be interesting. Foal raced in Ireland, Great Britain, and the US. Nicest. Again, not the most prolific of winners. Secret Thoughts is another one. She was placed in half of her starts. 1 win, 1 place, 1 third. 3 of 6 starts. Earnings of €22,017. This filly born in 2016, sired by Warfront out of Chiquita. Secret Thoughts was placed in 1 pattern race. She was third in the Silver Flash Stakes, a Group 3 race of 2018 for 2-year-olds, but last raced in 2019 at Killarney. She's currently a broodmare, but no black type horses as of yet. But fair play to Chiquita. She's bred 3 black type foals. Well done, her. Philomene is the next horse we need to take a look at. A filly born in 2018, sired by Jubawi out of Prudenzia. Philomene raced 7 times in her career, 2 wins and 1 second. Earnings of €281,000 out in France. This horse again was a classic placed. Philomene was placed in the 2021 French Oaks. She was also 6th in the Group 1 French Group 1000 Guineas, and in the Prix Vermeil as well. She was also 6th winner of the Group 3 Prix Penelope of 2021, held at Saint Cloud. So a classic placed Group 3 trial winner in her day. Philomene, trained by Andre Fabre out in France. And we're going to take a look as well at Je ne regrette rien, a mare born in 2016, sired by Galileo out of Prudenzia. Je ne regrette rien raced 5 times in her career, 2 wins, a second and a third. Earnings of €49,200 in France. Je ne regrette rien at 3 was third in the 2019 Prix de Royaumont at Chantilly. Another one trained by Andre Fabre and directly out of Prudenzia. She's had her own little classic What's Possible go round this year to not really much success. Acapulco Bay, a colt born in 2022, sired by Jubawi out of Je ne regrette rien. So I was hoping that both of these might be quite decent. You see, Acapulco Bay has raced 5 times in his career, 1 win, 2 seconds and a third. Earnings of €24,880 at the moment. Acapulco Bay's best form when he was third recently, actually, in the listed King George V Cup at Leopardstown in 2025. But yeah, I think Aidan O'Brien ran 5 in that race, and I think he was probably third of 5 of his O'Brien horse, is it? The horse has won over 8 furlongs though. I suppose he's still an outside ledger hope. If he was, he could quite easily get on this video, get on the site, I suppose, if he was to run in any of the ledgers or the Irish Derby upcoming. But to me, rather like Ecstatic, he's been a disappointing horse for me, this one. I'm going to take a look now at the second dam of the horse, Ecstatic, quickly. Prudenzia, a mare born in 2005, sired by Dancili out of Platonic. Prudenzia raced 5 times in her career, managed to win twice. Earnings of €41,400. You'll see there, Prudenzia, multiple black type producer, and she's also a listed winner She won the listed Prix de la Seine of 2008 at Longchamp, owned and bred by Ecurie de Monco and Skymark Farm, who have bred a few of these on this line. That is really now we can sort of stop, you know, because we're at Prudenzia. We've looked at her relatives. The next dam, Platonic, people will see she is the second dam, sorry, of Magic Wand, which makes her the third dam of Ecstatic. She is also the second dam of a Vespertilio, a horse we have already got a card on. Vespertilio, a filly, born in 2021, sired by Knight of Thunder out of Prudenti. According to this site, Vespertilio's raced 9 times in her career, 1 win, 3 seconds and 2/3. Earnings of €237,605 in Ireland and France. People take a look at Vespertilio at 4. She was second in the listed Cork Stakes this year. At 3, she was classic placed in the French Guineas of 2024 at 2, Group 2 Debutant Stakes winner, and also placed in the Group 1 Moygles Stakes and the Group 3 Silver Flash Stakes again. Ultimately, at this stage, a little bit of a disappointing horse. They tried to make her into a sprinter. I'm not entirely sure she is one. But she's going round well this year to a certain extent. And we've already done Vespertilio, so instead of me banging on about all the relatives in the distant pedigree of Ecstatic, all I need to do is include a card to the horse Vespertilio, which I will do now. And then it's just a matter, really, of taking a look, of closing a few tabs down and seeing where we are on the historic site. You'll see there, per dam line 21A, there is our little section. You'll see that Dunker is quite closely related to ours. That's a French Guineas winner of 1974. You've got our section there. Look, there's Souk and Shouk, Alexandrova. I've closed the horses down to save CPU before I've really finished with them. So we will open up Ecstatic again. You'll see there that Platonic, Puce, Souk and Shouk are the 5th and the 6th dam of this horse. Ecstatic, there is Souk, and there is Shouk. Puce, sorry, is the 4th dam of this horse. Souk, the 5th. You'll see there that Souk is on the site. So that's when we fall off, really. There's no sign of the 4th dam. Born in 1993, Puce. On the site, yes, related to a Dual Oaks winner in horses like Alexandrova. But like I said, they will all be covered in the card to a much greater extent. So now we can actually close down the tabs that I was meant to close down anyway. And we need to go all the way back to August 2024 and watch the horse Ecstatic. The only time the horse has got its head in front at Tipperary. Not one of Irish racing's leading tracks by any stretch of the imagination. Ever since this race, it's fair to say, though, that the horse has been quite highly tried, but she hasn't managed to run to a mark above 100. You know, I think the Fillies Oaks in the UK was run to a mark of 118. And Mini Hawk took that out not so long ago. So that is how far some of these horses are behind that we're looking at. Not only is exactly, he might be a well-bred horse, but she has plenty to find on the form. She's been beaten already in 5 pattern races. You know, this is one, if she wasn't in the Classic, I would never have included her. But connections that are going to run her, she's not got on the site on merit. A few do that. You know, but this one is definitely one. I've decided to do them like this year to try and keep horses that don't run in Classics off the channel. That's the only reason. That site, this channel exists solely for me to embed horses. But there were a few too many decent horses getting on that site that were being given away for free that weren't running in Classics. So I decided to nip that in the bud, you know, because I don't like giving away stuff for free that's of good quality. So basically, this horse has been beaten 5 pattern races. But what we can do is we can watch the horse win her only race at Tipperary last August, where she won quite convincingly back then. And we'll see what we think about this performance on the day. And then we will think about getting on with our lives, I think, and ending the video.
That off. This is the EBF Fillies maiden over 7.5 furlongs. Live Like the Boss first to show in front. Handy Ecstatic, improving as Long-Winded Lady. In between horses is Lush Lips. Followed after a break of a length and a half, Continuite on the inside of Arizona Beauty. In between those two was the Marcana. A couple of lengths to Mint Candy. Next to Scorpio and then Asdana. And One of a Kind and Zudio next with Carmina Burana. Back marker of the leading group is Bellew, and well off them is Rolling Thunder. Racing down towards the end of the back straight, 4.5 furlongs to go, and taking it up as Long-Winded Lady, goes on by a half length to Live Like the Boss, 3 parts of length back to Ecstatic in third. Edging the fourth on the inside is Continuite, as they're soon at the halfway stage, and then Arizona Beauty and Lush Lips, and Murkala next with Mint Candy, a Scorpio and Asdana next, and One of a Kind, Zudio, Carmina Burana, Bellew, out in front of Rolling Thunder. Little changes in the orders, their heads turned for home, less than 3 furlongs to go. The EBF Fillies maiden over 7.5. Long-Winded Lady pursued now by the favourite Ecstatic, then Live Like the Boss, Lush Lips, and they're tracked by Continuite. Murkala is next, and then Mint Candy. In the middle of the track is Arizona Beauty, as Long-Winded Lady is picked off by Ecstatic. Lush Lips on the outside of Continuite, and then Murkala and Mint Candy, Arizona Beauty, and One of a Kind next. Dropping away is Live Like the Boss, and it's Ecstatic who's flown well inside the final furlong. It's Ecstatic and Ryan Moore lengthening their lead to 4 lengths as they go close home. It's Ecstatic winning second time, and well too from in second place Lush Lips, then Continuite followed in by Mint Candy.
Yeah, sometimes these races do speak for themselves, and that was only the horse's second performance, don't forget, and it was hard to not to be impressed at that stage. 3 1/4 lengths. She'd been beaten on debut, which is never ideal. But yeah, that back at the time in August 2024 has to go down as somewhat of a promising run by the horse, didn't it? You know, it was obviously there that she was good enough to contest pattern races. It was then just a matter of how good she was. You know, the last 5 starts have proven really that she's quite average where pattern races are concerned, only finishing placed in one Group 3 race. And that was on her first start this season. I think this trip of 1 mile, 2.5 furlong could still prove to be slightly on the short side for her. You know, this horse is just not as good as I thought it would be. You know, but it's still looking like the horse is going to take part in a classic. She was 4.5 lengths behind Desert Flower in Group 2 level at Doncaster, and Desert Flower has won a classic and been placed in a classic. You know, so it's interesting what to make of this horse. You know, I follow my horses on pedigree. Form is temporary, class is permanent. And this horse, I think, would be quite a good example of that. You know, people would be forgiven if they just looked at the temporary form of this horse for thinking it was quite average. But the pedigree reveals something different. I wouldn't say she's really earned herself a place on the Classic Watch 25 site if she does get on the site on ability alone. But on pedigree, you will have to say that she deserves a chance. You know, as soon as I saw this horse entered first time out, I thought, this is a classic horse. So they have got her there, but the form just isn't there, is it? Form is temporary, class is permanent. Let's see what Ecstatic can do. Entered in the French Oaks and the Irish Oaks at this stage, so there could be 2 more classic bullets to fire. Right, I'm going to leave this video here now. Thank you very much to everybody for taking the time to watch it. What I will do is I'll leave a copy of all the Classic Watch 25 possible on the playlist, so everybody can look through them at their own discretion, take a good look at them at their own time, at their own leisure, and really learn about these horses. And what I will also do is I'll leave a copy for everybody who has watched this video and has chosen not to subscribe to the channel. I will give you all an opportunity to do exactly that and subscribe to the channel. But for now, I will leave this video here. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the French Oaks and Royal Ascot next week if you are deciding to have a go. Thank you very much again for turning in and tuning in to watch the video. But for now, take care, everybody. Look after yourselves and your loved ones, and goodbye.